I guess, opening statement, very proud of our team for handling some early adversity in the game against Central Florida. Obviously came out somewhat flat, which is very uncharacteristic of us and what we had done in the 6 games leading up to that game. But it was the 4th game of a 4-game stretch where we had 3 road games in 4 weeks, and 2 of those games, or 2 of those 4 games were weekday games. So we had weekly schedules changing around a bunch, and had obviously 3 road games in 4 weeks, and early kickoff. There's certainly no excuse, but I sensed a bit of fatigue from our team, and was really, really proud of the way down 10-7 in the second quarter. There was no panic, no heads hanging. There was a lot of positivity still on the sideline, and then to go rattle off 52 straight points, and our defense hold them to 105 yards total in the final 3 quarters, I think is a testament to the resolve that our team has. So again, really, really good final 3 quarters by the defense. 4 turnovers in total in the game, scored a touchdown, and then offense. We were able to run the ball, not just with the quarterback, but run the football with our tailbacks, and was encouraged by that. With that, I will open to questions.
Tom, you guys moved up in the polls again. I know that you guys mid-season aren't worried about that, but still the recognition the program's getting for what you guys have done so far. What does it mean to be moving up the polls and be right there?
Nothing. Again, the polls at this point in the season they don't mean anything. They're simply for people to talk about, I would imagine. So none of it means really anything to us.
What about to the Cougar community that come out and support you guys? I know that gets them fired up to see.
Yeah, well, I hope it does. I think I would argue whether we're ranked 18th or not ranked at all, that the fact that we're playing some pretty good football right now would have them excited to come see us play. So we understand that the rankings at this point in the season they're completely and totally irrelevant to the goals that we have set for ourselves, and really pay very little attention to them.
Tom, you're about to flip the calendar to the final month of the regular season. The advantage of playing 4 of the last 5 at home, in terms of regardless of.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'd rather it this way than the other way, and having 4 road games out of your last 5. So, but at the end of the day, we got to go out and execute, whether we're at home or on the road. I think the one place where it will benefit us is obviously traveling is taxing on your mentally and physically. It takes a toll on our players and our staff, and you get a little bit out of a routine. Your Fridays are a lot earlier than they are when you're at home, and you're just the week is accelerated a little bit because your Friday is a travel day now, and so you kind of have to accelerate everything back about 12, 16 hours, and so it allows our coaching staff and our players a little bit more time to prepare and rejuvenate there at the end of the week.
Tom, another week with that young interior offensive line. How would you evaluate their growth and progress from the Tulane game through the UCF game?
Yeah, how about that? We played the whole any meaningful snap. I say the whole game until we started substituting guys in, but with 3 freshmen in the interior of the line, 2 redshirt freshmen at guard, and then a true freshman playing center to me, that's unheard of. This kid's the apex of our offense right now, what we consider the apex of our offense, and 6-7 months ago he was literally walking the halls of his high school and getting ready for prom and all that stuff, and now he's going to be snapping the ball 70 some odd times and blocking an SEC defense out there. So pleased with how they've progressed. Certainly not a finished product by any stretch, but excited at the trajectory that they're on.
Tom, you said from jump when you got initially ranked that it was not relevant until the end of the year, that sort of thing, and you mentioned that again today. But beyond the fact that it's not relevant for you now, the fact that you're getting the respect across the country from writers, media, broadcasters, fans, and like when you have Adrian being named semifinals for the Jim Thorpe Award, all these things are happening. What do you think about this all coming together right now in your first year here?
It doesn't mean, again, it's nothing. I mean, nothing is going to, this is not a program where we talk very much about the good things during the season. We're going to celebrate the heck out of this season at the end of the season when hopefully our goals and our dreams come to fruition. But at this point, there's no sense in even wasting any brain cells even thinking about it.
Your thoughts on Vanderbilt's defense and challenges they present?
And what was the second part?
Just the challenges they present defensively.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at 22nd in total defense, 16th in rush defense, 13th in scoring defense, 3rd in the country in third down defense, and 5th in the country in red zone defense. Challenge is an understatement. They're really good, and our offense will certainly have their work cut out for them, especially that young offensive line. They're very, very multiple on defense, both in front alignment, blitzes, and coverages. And so I guess you can do that when you got really smart players like they do at Vanderbilt. But it's amazing how many different looks that you'll see throughout the course of a ball game. And so we're going to have to be dialed in. We're going to not only have to play really physically well, because this is still, I mean, this is an SEC defense, but we're also going to have to play very mentally sharp too, because of all the different fronts and coverages that they'll throw at you.
Tom, looking at the forecast for the weekend, it looks like there may be a chance of rain. Shocking, Houston. But I know you guys haven't played really in poor weather conditions to this point in a game. I know you practice in a game, but what are some of the things that you stress, especially in those practices with adverse weather conditions?
Well, we practiced last night outside for a good hour and a half in the rain and wind and all that. I mean, we don't have an indoor facility, and so we're going to prepare. There's a phrase that we have around here: we ain't changing. We're like a brick wall. You can keep banging your head against that brick wall is going to win. So we ain't changing. We're going to prepare like we do each and every week, and if that means going outside and practicing in the rain and playing in the rain, so be it. We went out the Thursday before the Louisville game and practiced in the rain on a Thursday practice. Had not a very good practice, but we did it, and it was routine. And I think the championship teams that I've been on have a routine, and they stick with it. And I told our guys, I didn't make the quote up. I'm sure I read it somewhere on a Hallmark card or something. But the obstacles and challenges that you see in front of you can only be seen when you take your focus off of your goal. And so as long as we stay with blinders on and focused on our goal of being 1-0 this week, those challenges shouldn't be any issue, because we shouldn't really be paying any attention to them.
Tom, any word on Kenneth Farrow and what's his status right now?
Everything, all signs point in a good direction. Won't know anything until tomorrow after whatever that would be, 48 hours or whatever, but continues to get updates or updated and checked on, and everything looks good at this point. And so won't know until tomorrow morning whether he's cleared for practice, but all signs are pointing in the right direction. all the concussion stuff, yeah.
Tom, what were your thoughts on George O'Leary announcing his retirement after the game?
Yeah, it was sad for our profession. You know, he's a tremendous coach, has had a lot of success everywhere he's been, and you know, it's amazing what he was able to accomplish there at Central Florida, and you know, culminating with a Fiesta Bowl appearance and win just 2 years ago, and a bunch of 10-win seasons and bowl victories and so on and so forth. And you know, for a team in our conference to have that kind of run that he did, kind of taking them from where he took them, and then culminating in what was then a BCS Bowl win is pretty remarkable.
Coach, you've been in,
Oh, hang on. They want you to use the mic.
You've been in big atmospheres, big games. What do you think about the game day experience here, and how would you like to see maybe it change if you could have that?
Well, I think, you know, from what I see when we come off the bus and walk our players into the stadium, I think that's fantastic, the tailgating and everything that goes on outside the stadium before the game. And then I think our student section has been phenomenal for our home games. I would challenge them to bring even more, but they've been really, really good thus far. And I think the only thing, you know, as noted, I would certainly like there to be no empty seats in the stadium. But in terms of an atmosphere pregame, I think it's fantastic. The student section's fantastic. I think last game we had the lower bowl sold out, which made the atmosphere really good. But the only thing that's missing now is to get all those seats filled. How many pens do you have attached to your lanyard, by the way? 4. You use them all? And they're all black. Do they all have like a different meaning? No, just in case you lose one. Runs out, lose one. Yep.
Tom, they started a true freshman at quarterback last game, and then I think the regular starter came back in third quarter. Does that present anything in terms of how you prepare this week? Who do you prepare for, or is it you just
not really? They're similar guys. You know, I think the true freshman did some good things. Obviously, Missouri's got a really good defense too, so it's tough to move the ball against Missouri. So I don't think their schemes are going to change. So it doesn't really affect preparation a lot, other than, you know, anytime you're facing a true freshman quarterback, you want to make him know that he's playing college football.
And it's the fact that you are playing an SEC program and you've already played an ACC and beat them, the opportunities, I guess, is the word, just to be able to go up against a so-called Power 5 and play well. Is that something that you tell the guys, or you kind of, you know?
No, I think they know. I mean, I think they understand. I don't, you know, there doesn't need to be a whole lot of motivation in terms of the opponent that you're playing. I want to make sure this week the focus and preparation is solid. But our guys, because of who they are and what they did last week to Missouri and you know, the conference that they're in, I'm confident that they'll be excited to play them.
So on the video of what you see of running back Ralph Webb.
Say it again.
Ralph Webb, Vanderbilt's running back. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he is a you know, fast but powerful guy. That's a pretty unique combination. You know, he's 5'10", but he's 205 pounds, somewhere around there, and very explosive. Gonna pose some issues. You know, I mean, stopping the run is not all about the running back. You know, it's about being gap sound and having more hats to the football than they have to block, and then being able to tackle in space. And so it's maybe not necessarily him that you worry about. You worry about your front and your linebackers being in the right place at the right time.
On DeMarcus Ayers, what's been key to his development and his contributions this year? He's obviously been a big contributor for you guys this year.
Well, he's bought in. I think when we got here, he was a fringe guy. You know, he was a guy that when things were going well, he was a yes sir, no sir, rah rah kind of guy. And when things got hard or were difficult, he might have gone in the other direction. But right now, he's got a tremendous amount of belief in his position coach and Drew Maringer. He's got a tremendous amount of belief in his team and our staff, and he is a guy that, you know, at this point I would consider him a leader on our team, and positively. He's always been a leader because he's a vocal guy that's a good player on the field that has had some production throughout his career, but I think he's leading now more in a positive way than he ever has.
Coach, can you adequately simulate what Vandy does in terms of how physical they are, given about a week of practice and considering they're kind of different than a lot of the teams you faced this year?
We're going to try. I don't know that you ever do. I mean, that's a little bit like saying, can you simulate, you know, Navy's offense, and you know, we play Navy on a Friday. You know, try to simulate Navy's offense with your scout team through 2 or 3 days of preparation. It's kind of like playing Vanderbilt's defense. The answer probably is no, but we're going to do the best we can, and I think that's where a lot of mental reps come in as well, in terms of if you know where you're going and what you're supposed to do when you get there, it makes it a lot easier to then be physical at that point of contact. But when you're unsure, there's doubt in your mind, or any hesitation, that's when their physicality can overpower you.
Tom, I think we talked before about the fact that it's always a challenge to keep young kids, young minds constantly engaged. Looking at, you know, a blackout in that type of atmosphere, wearing special uniforms, does that maybe help just a little bit, get them fired up and engage them a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anytime you can do something special, adds a little bit of motivation probably to them. But I'd like to think if we were playing Vandy on a Wednesday afternoon with our normal uniforms, that they'd be just as fired up to play them. But I do understand, you know, you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old kids, and you know, whatever it takes, if it gets them more fired up, I'm all for it.
Coach, you said Greg Ward, the difference is Greg Ward's preparation has been on this year. What specifically does he have to do leading into this game and coming into playing Vandy that you've seen maybe over the last few weeks that he needs to maybe improve on?
Probably coverage recognition. They're going to throw a lot of different coverages at him in the pass game, and to be able to recognize and diagnose those different coverages is going to be key for the throw game. And then a calmness and confidence in the pocket to maybe hang out back there for that half second longer to let your guy get open before he takes off and runs, and just to be patient back there and be confident in what your guys are doing for you up front, as well as confident in knowing that what you see from a coverage standpoint is it really what it is, and that you've prepared for it.
Tom, what was the value of getting some of the younger players game experience against UCF?
Big, yeah. That's an area we had a discussion just yesterday. In fact, that we're playing too many starters on special teams. I think that it was important early on to, one, send the message of how important those teams were to us, and two, to be quite honest with you, they were that much better than the twos, and we weren't going to just throw a backup out there that was going to get us beat in special teams. And so you look at the numbers halfway through the season now, and you know, guys like, I think Adrian McDonald's played 590 snaps. I mean, that in a 14-game season, that puts him on pace for 1,200 snaps, which is too much. And so we've had 10 weeks now through training camp and the season to develop some of these guys behind them, that it's time for them to start playing a little bit more on special teams, playing a little bit more on offense and defense in the normal rotation rather than just in mop-up duty. And so I think a few guys showed that against Central Florida. I told both the defense and offense when it was time to put the backups in, which was pretty much the fourth quarter, every time we got a break, and whether it was a TV timeout or whatever, I went over to them and I said, you know, every time you take a snap, you're putting your resume on video, and it'll be there forever. And you know, I challenged them, we challenged them to go out and put the best resume that they can on video, so that you know, when it comes time, like we talk about competitive focus, when your number's called, that you're ready to go, and that your teammates and your coaches have confidence in you.
Those lines, though, I guess moving forward, if you are up comfortable, you know, have a lead, will you tend to take some of those guys out like you did in the fourth quarter? Because it looked like, I guess, Greg left in the top of the fourth quarter, and then Kenneth as well, or well, actually after that touchdown when he got hurt. But is that kind of the idea to maybe get some guys out of there as much as you can?
Yeah. I mean, there's one, you know, every snap you play, there's a risk of injury, and so when the game is, once you feel like you have put the game out of reach based on level of lead and then time remaining on the clock, I think it's important to get those guys out, especially considering how many reps our starters have played up until this point. And then the development of the young guys. I think that's critical for those guys to get in there and get game reps, because it's just something, you know, since training camp they really have not been able to do. You know, some of the backups, they get in a few reps here and there versus a scout team, but that's certainly not the same as playing live scrimmage reps.
That wasn't my original question. I wanted to do a follow-up on that. But as far as Kenneth Farrow, you know, coaches, when they're new and they're getting to know their team, have a story. Do you have anything about maybe a first meeting with him? I remember, I guess, on your trip to the American Media Day, he took a bag with him with his workout stuff because he didn't want to miss a workout. Is that kind of
That's who he is, man. Yeah, he's an everyday guy. He's a pro when it comes to taking care of his body. He's a pro when it comes to taking care of anything. Let's just put it that way. I mean, mental preparation, physical preparation, getting his teammates around him to play better. Just a consummate pro, and a very, very deserving captain. And there's no certainly no surprise why he's, I think, now a three-time captain of this team. Absolutely not. No, keep running the way you're running. He ran better in that game against Central Florida than I'd seen him run in a long time, and we want that same Kenneth Farrow back. And you know, he bowled his way into the end zone. He also ran over a guy on the sideline and continued down for another 10, 12 yards. So, excuse me. I think that's who he is. And we need him to run that way for us to be successful. So there's certainly no restrictions in terms of the way that he runs. We good? All right, thanks, guys.